I want to talk briefly about a postcard that I got. You see the front of it has a hedgehog on it, small English European world creature with spikes. And this postcard has been significant in my life. I got it in early 1978 from my friend and colleague Geoffrey Hawthorne, a well-known sociologist and very distinguished demographer. And I'd just sent him a copy of an article which I was giving as the Malinowski lecture called Modes of Reproduction. And it was based on a central idea of my book, The Origins of English Individualism, in which I'd argued that the English had never been peasants. And the central idea of my article was that in peasant societies, where the family is the unit of production, works together, and consumption, it eats and lives together, you are likely to have high fertility rates because it's in your interest to have lots of children working with you. Whereas in individualistic, and as I thought, English societies, where your children leave home early and set up their own economic lives, then there is a disincentive to have lots of children because they're expensive and then you don't get much benefit. And in some ways this anticipates much of what has happened in world population with the spread of Western family systems and so on. Anyway, when I sent it to Geoffrey, who was producing a volume of essays, he wrote back, "Have just this moment finished your modes of reproduction, and wanted to say straight away how exciting and right I think it is. I was really thrilled." So to get this was a great pleasure, but particularly it took me to the idea that he refers to in his postcard of a book by Isaiah Berlin, the philosopher, political philosopher, called The Hedgehog and the Fox. This is based on an old Greek saying that the fox knows many things, but the hedgehog knows one big thing. And since then I've always liked to think of myself as a hedgehog, and I have a hedgehog ring, and there are many paintings and symbols of hedgehogs around in my barn and on my rooftops and so on. And that is because I like to think that I have one big idea which is concerned with what is the nature of the modern world and how did it get here. Or not one big idea, but one big mission, which is to pursue that idea. And this idea that I was a hedgehog was both useful for my family, because whenever they wanted to send me a birthday card or a Christmas card or some sort of card, they would often send it to me, and still do over 40 years later, in the form of a hedgehog card. But also I like to think of other people and classify them as hedgehogs and foxes. It mentions here that into the category of foxes can be put such figures as Shakespeare, Aristotle, Montaigne and Goethe, while Dante, Plato and Dostoevsky are hedgehogs. And so living friends, for example, my first professor, Jack Goody, the anthropologist, I thought of as a fox because he had many, many ideas and was always rushing in many different directions at the same time. And my next professor, Professor Ernest Gellner, philosopher, sociologist, anthropologist, was more like a hedgehog. He plodded along. He also had one big idea, which was about the modern world and how it got here. And so I found I could understand many people's writings better, and it gave me confidence in my own work because I seem to have got onto a very good trail, and the rest of my life has been pursuing that. So I have a little hedgehog shrine up next to my desk, and people give me little baby hedgehogs, and it's of course a game but also fun, and that single postcard was a great pleasure and, to a little extent, a turning point in my life. Thank you.